Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of class 10, and today also we will continue with the same topic, and the topic's name that we previously read was India as a federal country. So we had read up to Jammu and Kashmir, the state which got some more facilities according to the Indian constitution, such as they had their own flag and they had their own constitution like that. So today we will start from the other parts, or you can say the other states or union territories that are given or declared as a state or union territories in terms of what. So we will read about that. So let's proceed then. So there are some units of the Indian Union which enjoy very little power, as because these are too small in terms of area. So these units or places cannot become independent states also, and cannot be merged with any existing states too. So there are some units. Units means you can tell that there are some areas or places in the Indian Union. That means within India there are many places which enjoy very little power, as because these are too small in terms of area. So why these units or why these places are enjoying very little power? Because in terms of area they are small, or you can say that they are too small. That's why they are not given a very bigger share of power. They are given a little share of power. So these units or places cannot become independent states also, and cannot be merged with any existing states too. So what is the problem with these areas or units? There are basically two problems related with this type of areas which are small. What are these? Firstly, it cannot become independent states. That means these areas or units cannot be named as a new state. Clear? They cannot be included, or they cannot be granted the statehood, or they cannot be told as a new state. And secondly, they cannot be merged with any existing states too. Firstly, what it was, it cannot be declared as an independent state, and secondly, whatever these places are, they cannot be merged. That means they cannot be mixed with any other states also that are prevalent in India. Suppose assume that there are 28 states. So out of the 28 states, this cannot be merged. This cannot be mixed with none of the 28 states present in India. These are the two problems that are very relative with these small units or areas, because they are very little in terms of area. So these units or areas are Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Delhi, etc., which are known as union territories, but they don't have the power of a state. Therefore the central government has special powers in running these areas. So what are these units or areas known as? These units or areas are known as union territories. Why they are called union territories? Because they are relatively too small in terms of area, and they are called union territories for the other two reasons also. Because of their area, they cannot be declared as a state also, new state also, and secondly, they cannot be merged, or that means they cannot be mixed with any other existing states also. You cannot mix these small areas with other states. They cannot be mixed. So these units or areas, whatever we have read in the first point, that is known as what? Union territories. And some examples of union territories are there, such as Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Delhi, etc. Clear? They are known as union territories, but they don't have the powers of a state. So that means what? What is the basic difference between state and union territory? If it is asked, then you have to write that the state has more power in comparison to union territories. The union territories does not have that much of power what a state has actually. So union territories has a very lesser number of power in compared to the state. Therefore, the central government has special powers in running these areas. So who comes in between to run these areas actually? Who has the power to run these union territories? The central government has special powers in running these areas. So presently, in terms of India, who has the special power to run these union territories actually? The central government. And the present central government is led by the NDA. Clear? The NDA is the coalition and BJP is heading this coalition. So the central government at present of the NDA is running these areas, you can say. Clear? After that, the sharing of power between the union and state government is due to the structure of the constitution. So it is not easy to make changes to this power sharing arrangement, and the parliament too cannot make changes regarding power sharing. So third point is about the sharing of power. What is it actually? Whatever the system is there of holding together federation, that comes, if example is taken, that is of India. So in this holding together federation, whatever the power sharing is there between the central government and the state government, it is due to what? It is due to the structure of the constitution. That means what? According to the constitution only, it is necessarily being systemized that whatever the portions of power, that means the union government will have the more power, more percentage of power, and the state government will have a little less than that. Both will not have the equal power. So it is due to what? It is due to the structure of the constitution, or you can say that it is due to the constitution. As per the constitution, it is there that of the holding together federation, the union government will have more power in the form of power sharing, and the state government will have the lesser power. So it is not easy to make changes to this power sharing arrangement. Clear? So therefore, whatever it is due to the constitution, and if any changes are being thought to made, then it cannot be done so easily. There are many rules and regulations. If these changes wanted to be done, you want to do these changes regarding the power sharing between the union and state government, that is not easy to make actually. And the parliament too cannot make changes regarding power sharing. Clear? So we can say that above all, the parliament also cannot make changes regarding power sharing. There are another options to make changes. If it wants to make changes regarding this power sharing, then it can be done, but it's not so very easy, and the parliament also does not have that much of power that it can change the system of power sharing. Clear? After that, any change, that means whatever the change, if it is thought to be made, any change to be made in the power sharing has to be first passed by both the houses of the parliament with at least 2/3 majority. After that, it has to be signed by the legislatures of at least half of the total states. Clear? Whatever we have read in point number 3, that means if changes are thought to be made, it's not easy, and the parliament also cannot do that. And I had told you earlier that there are ways, there are many rules and regulations through which the changes can be made, but what are the actual rules and regulations? And what question might come, that what are the options of power sharing opinions, or how can the changes be done in the power sharing between the union and state government? Then the relevant point is number 4, which we will read now. So first of all, if changes are to be thought of, so first what it has to be done, first of all, the power sharing has to be first passed by both the houses of the parliament with at least 2/3 majority. In both the houses means both in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. In both the houses of the parliament, this power sharing, whatever the changes are thought to be made, these changes are to be, the changes with rules and regulations has to be passed where? First in both the houses of the parliament, in Lok Sabha also, in Rajya Sabha also, and that with one condition, that means it has to be passed in both the houses of the parliament with 2/3 of majority. Clear? It's not like that one or two members will support and the others will not, and in this way the bill will pass. It is not like that. It has to be passed in both the houses by 2/3 majority. Remember this point, it's very important. Secondly, what it has to be done after that, if suppose this has the first changes made in power sharing has been passed by both the houses of the parliament with 2/3 majority, after that also one thing remains. And what is that? After that it has to be signed by the legislatures of at least half of the total states. So see here, only passing in both the houses of the parliament will not work to make these changes happen. After passing it through 2/3 majorities, secondly it has to be signed by the legislatures of at least half of the total states. Clear? The law-making body, and this law-making body has to sign that. And how many legislatures have to sign it? At least, suppose you think that there are 28 states in India, that means half of that is how much? 14 states legislatures have to sign that. Only then what will happen? These changes can be done. So that's why it was written in point number 3 that parliament also cannot make these changes, and it is not easy to make changes. For this reason only it was written. So clear about this point, that first it has to be passed in both the houses of parliament with 2/3 majority. After that it is passed, the legislatures of the total states, how many states are there? Suppose assume that 28 states are there, out of that 50%, that means half of the states legislature have to sign that. Only then the changes can be made. Clear? After that, overall the judiciary plays an important role in overseeing the implementation of constitutional provisions and procedures. I have written guarantor or guardian. So after that, who is the supreme to look after all this thing, that all the works are done or not, all are abiding by law and order or not? It's the judiciary, and this judiciary only plays an important role in overseeing. That means it looks after everyone, and it also makes sure that they are, whatever the things are being done in running the country, it's according to the constitution. So it is like what I have written, guarantor or guardian. It is like the guardian figure. It looks after everything, and it makes sure that whatever it is done in running the country, it is being done according to the rules and regulations that is mentioned in the constitution of our country. Clear? So judiciary plays then important and very eminent role. After that, in case of any dispute, the division of powers between the central and state, the high courts and the supreme courts make a decision. So how is the judiciary important? Judiciary is important. Suppose you assume that if there is any dispute means if there is any conflict, difference of opinion is there between the central and the state government, then who comes in between to solve this dispute? The court. That means either the high court or the supreme court will come in. The supreme court is the supreme. That means the supreme court will make decisions at the last. Clear? After the high court have given verdict, every court has district judge and district court and high court have given verdict. After that, lastly the supreme court will give the verdict, and that supreme court's verdict will be final. This has to be abided by each and every persons living in this country. So if there is suppose any dispute between the divisions of power, that means the state and central government does not agree on any of the points regarding the power sharing options, so then the judiciary comes, that means the high court and supreme court comes, and it makes a decision that it will tell the central and both the state government that this is your area and that is your area, and you have to walk in between that only. Or you can say that it will provide one jurisdiction for both central and state government. And coming to the last point, lastly, the union and state government have the power to impose taxes in order to run the government. So after that, what is the last thing that the union and state government, you can say it's one kind of a power that the state and union government have, and that power is what? To levy taxes. That means different types of taxes they can impose on the general citizens. Income tax, road tax, and many more taxes are there. Like that they will impose, and these taxes will help us only in return, because all this money collected through tax are again utilized for the development and welfare of the society only. So in this way, it's the power of state and union government which they are using, but in return who all are benefiting from this? We, the general citizens, are only benefiting, because the type of taxes and the amount of money that is collected through these taxes are benefiting us only in return. So we have to be a good citizen, and we should always give each and every taxes that we are to give, and then only we can say that we are the good citizens of this country. So we should help government in this. So with this, we have come to the end of this topic, that is, how is India a federal country? Clear? So today we read about the units or areas which are known as union territories, and what are the problems actually of these union territories, why these areas or union territories are not regarded as a state also, and why they cannot be mixed with other states also. We read about that. Then how is the power sharing actually very difficult? That means the changes, whatever the changes, if you are deciding to make in regard of power sharing, it is very difficult. How it is difficult, we read about that. Then what is the procedure actually if the changes are to be made? Clear? First was the two-third majority should be passed in both the houses of parliament by the two-third majority members. After that, if it is passed, then the legislatures have to sign at least half of the total states. If there are 28 suppose, then 14 of the states have to, state legislatures have to sign that. Then after that, we read about judiciary, how it plays an important role. In case of dispute also, the judiciary only comes and makes a way for smooth running of the country. And lastly, we read about what? The system of taxes, that the union or state government have the power actually. And I also make you understand about why taxes are very important, because in return it is benefiting us only through that amount. So I hope that whatever the points I had discussed today, it's now very much clear regarding this topic, India as a federal country. So with this, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.